Welcome back, students. You are now in 10th standard. It is going to be a board exam, so you have to be really careful and you have to be sincere about your studies. You have to be consistent. Every day you should study every subject at least for some time. And all of you know that ICSE is not like SSC syllabus. Basically, in ICSE syllabus, there are questions which are asked as application type. Means it is not necessary that the questions will be coming from the textbook exercise or anything of that sort. There might be few questions from outside, but the basic idea is from the textbook. So you have to generate your concepts clearly and apply your concepts to the questions asked. I will be giving you examples also. I am going to take subject physics. So I will be giving you certain examples where your ideas have to be modified. I am going to start with chapter 1, that is force. Now you have studied force in the previous standards also. You have studied physical quantities like force, pressure, etc. So we are going to start with the first definition of force, effects of force, and then we will extend our understanding of force to the different systems which we use in day-to-day life. The same concept has to be extended in chapter 2, work, power and energy. So there also you will come across same force again. I am starting with definition of force. Force is a physical quantity that changes or tends to change the state of motion of an object. Now, break the sentence into smaller parts, try to understand. I am repeating the sentence and then breaking into smaller parts, and then I will be explaining what it is, the physical quantity is exactly. Force is any physical quantity that changes or tends to change the state of motion of an object. It is a quantity, definitely physical quantity, which changes or tends to change. Now why this tends to change is there? See, I am applying a force. I am putting my hand on the board. I am trying to push it. Is the board moving? The board is stationary, and even after applying some force, the board will not move because of the rigid substance behind it. So it is not necessary that force will change the state of motion of an object. It will try to change the state of motion of an object. Such a quantity is called as force. You have studied before SI unit of force is Newton. It is named after great scientist who had carried out many inventions in physics as well as in some other subjects like maths, and its CGS unit is Dyne. In the previous standards, 9th standard, you have studied about SI system and CGS system of units. So there is a relation between these two units. The relation is 1 Newton. See, whenever you are writing the unit, if you are writing the unit in full, you have to use small letter as the initial letter of that unit. But I am writing in symbolic form, so I am writing capital N as it is named after a scientist. The relation is 1 Newton is 10 raised to 5 Dyne. There are other units also. For example, if we represent force in terms of gravitational unit, it is written as kgf. It is nothing but 1 kilogram into 9.8 meter per second square, that is 9.8 kg meter per second square. Same unit is nothing but Newton. So this is another unit. In terms of gravitational force, we use kgf. Kgf, if you are given any quantity of this type in any numerical, first you have to convert it into Newton by multiplying by 9.8, which is gravitational acceleration. Now, what are effects of force? We will start with different effects of force. Force can move a stationary body. I am not saying will move, may move, because if the force is not sufficiently large, then it is not going to produce any motion in the stationary body. Second part or second effect of force is it can stop a moving body. For example, I will give you an example of the first part. Here in the classroom there are stationary benches. The bench is stationary, it is not moving. If you want to shift or move the bench from one part of the classroom to another, what you have to apply is force. Second, stop a moving body. Example of this, when you are driving a vehicle or even now you are riding a bicycle, it is in motion, and if you want to stop that bicycle, what you do is you apply brakes. Application of brakes is nothing but application of force. So a force can move a stationary body, it can stop a moving body, or third part, it can change size, shape, volume of object. If you have a rubber ball, you apply force on it, then its volume is going to decrease. Its shape is going to change, its size is going to change. Another example of this, if you have a balloon which is not blown, you blow air inside it, that blown air exerts a pressure from inside of the balloon, because of which its volume increases, its size and shape changes. There is another effect of force that I am writing here. It can change the direction of motion. Example of this I can give you. You must have seen a bullet fired from a gun. When you fire a bullet in the horizontal direction, does it keep on moving along the same straight line forever? It does not happen. After traveling some distance, it falls to the ground. Or for that matter, you can take example of a stone. Throwing a stone in the horizontal direction will not continue moving along the horizontal direction. After traveling some distance, it will fall back to ground. Why does this happen? There is a force called as gravitational force that is acting on the bullet or the stone. So these are four effects of force which we come across in day-to-day life. Now I am moving to one more characteristic of force, you can say. Force is a vector quantity. You have studied scalar and vector quantities in the previous standard. Vector quantity is a quantity which has to have direction. Again, I will give you an example. If this is an object which is to be moved in this direction, I want the motion of the object towards right. Is it possible to move this object towards right by application of force towards the left? It is not possible. If you apply the force towards the left, the motion will be in the direction of the force. Means wherever you are applying force, you have to specify its direction. And any quantity that has direction is called as a vector quantity. So, force is a vector quantity. Repeating, in short, force is a physical quantity. It causes one or more of the effects out of this. Its SI unit is Newton, CGS unit is dyne. 1 Newton is equal to 10 raised to 5 dyne. Another unit of force, kgf, in case of gravitational force specifically, it is 1 kg into 9.8 meter per second square. So, corresponding unit, I forgot to tell you, it is 1 gram force. So, what you will do? It will be 1 gram into 980 centimeter per second square. So, this is equal to 980 dyne. Then these are the effects. With this background, now I can really start with whatever syllabus is in the textbook. So, we will start with that now. When you apply force to any object, just now we said there may be change in the state of motion. So, what type of motion can be caused by force? That is what we want to discuss. Force can cause linear motion. Linear motion means motion along a straight line. It can cause another type of motion called as rotational motion. Linear motion is possible by force when object is not fixed. Example, pushing a bench or moving some object like cupboard from one place to the other. If these things are grouted in the floor of the room, they will not move. But if object experiences a force, it will travel along a straight line unless there is another force acting. So, if this is the only force acting on the object and the object is not fixed, then it will keep on moving along the same straight line. Another example I will give you for rotational motion. You must have opened the door of this type at your home, because at home generally we have doors which open and close with rotational motion. There are sliding doors, I am not talking about that. But if you apply force to an object like this door is fixed at the hinges. So, if the object is fixed, or it is also called as pivoted. For example, if I have some circular disc through which a nail is put and it is pushed into the board, then this is not free to move along a straight line. But if I apply force to this, it may be revolving, it may be rotating. Such a motion is called as rotational motion. So there are two types of motions out of which you have already studied the linear motion. Now you want to study the rotational motion. So what are the terms involved in rotational motion? I will be explaining that. Before that, repeating, if the object is not fixed, not pivoted, capable of moving, then the force causes linear motion. If the object is fixed like door at the hinges or a circular disc with a nail through it into the wall, it is pivoted, then the force causes only rotational motion. Combination of these two motions is also possible. Assume that this is the wheel of a car or wheel of your bicycle. If I show spokes, it will be more evident to you. Assume that this is wheel of your bicycle. You are pedaling. Because of the chain and the pedal force on the pedal, this object is rotating. So this is rotational motion. At the same time, the wheel is progressing forward or backward depending upon which way you are pedaling. So this wheel is moving along a straight line as well as it is carrying out rotational motion. So combination of both the motions is also possible in certain cases. Now we will start with a new quantity for you, or maybe you have come across it beforehand. It is called as moment of force. Moment of force. It is not movement of force. Read the spelling carefully. VE is not there. It is moment of force. You can measure the moment of force. It is effect. Which type of effect? It is the turning effect. So the turning effect due to a force can be measured in terms of a physical quantity. That physical quantity is called as moment of force. I am repeating. Again, take example of a door. I am drawing a bigger door now, which has a handle here and hinges placed here. How you open the door? You open the door by holding the handle and applying a force, due to which the door rotates about a particular line which is called as axis of rotation. If you apply force at this point, then the door is going to rotate about this line on which the hinges are fixed, and it will rotate. So whatever is the turning effect, rotation is a turn. Whatever is the turning effect caused by a force, that is what is called as moment of force. Mathematically, we define moment of force, I am writing in short MOF. This stands for moment of force. Actually, this is not the notation, but I am using so that I don't have to write the full word all the time. Moment of force is defined as magnitude of force multiplied by perpendicular distance distance of force from axis of rotation. This part, perpendicular distance, is also called as moment arm. Now assume that I have applied force F at the handle of the door and the perpendicular distance of the handle from axis of rotation. This is axis of rotation. So if this is perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation, then according to this definition, I get moment of force to be equal to F into D. This is the magnitude of force, this is the perpendicular distance. Product of these two gives me the turning effect, and the turning effect is called as moment of force. It is a new physical quantity maybe for you. Force equal to, what is unit of force? So if I want to write unit of MOF equal to unit of force into unit of distance. Unit of force is SI unit I am talking about, it is Newton. Unit of distance is meter. So SI unit of moment of force is Newton meter. Remember this unit, you will be coming across this unit time and again. If I want to find CGS unit, this is SI unit. If I want to find out CGS unit of moment of force, then what I will have to write? Unit of force is dyne and unit of distance is centimeter. If you want, you can put a multiplication sign here. Now what is the relation between these two units, SI and CGS unit, that we want to find out. So I will write it here. Newton meter, Newton into meter is equal to what? How many dyne make 1 Newton? 10 raised to 5 dyne multiplied by how many centimeters make 1 meter? 100 means 10 raised to 2 centimeter. So I can write 1 Newton meter equal to 10 raised to 5 into 10 raised to 2. Use laws of indices. 10 raised to 5 plus 2 dyne centimeter. Therefore, 1 Newton meter is equal to 10 raised to 7 dyne centimeter. This relation you must remember. Like I told you to remember the relation between Newton and dyne, same is the way you remember the relation between Newton meter and dyne centimeter. When we talk about moment of force, we use this unit normally, but this together is also called as joule, which is unit of work. This unit, dyne centimeter, is also called as erg. So you can say that 1 joule equal to 10 raised to 7 erg. But when you are talking about moment of force, generally unit used is Newton meter or dyne centimeter, or it can be replaced by kgf meter. If it is gravitational force, then instead of Newton we use kgf, kilogram force, which I have already discussed. Now, what type of quantity this is? Moment of force is a vector quantity. Moment of force is a vector quantity. Sorry. So, you must specify the direction. In the exam, there might be a question, what is the direction of moment of force? So, what you will be writing? Moment of force is always along the axis of rotation. Moment of force will be directed along axis of rotation. I can give you an example, or I can tell you how it comes. See, whenever you are talking about moment of force, it is always perpendicular to both of them, always perpendicular to force as well as to this moment arm or the distance. So, if I consider 3 coordinate axes, this is x, y and z. Compare this with this now. This is along y axis, so this is force ka direction in this way. The distance is along x axis, which is the axis which is perpendicular to both of them. Z axis is perpendicular to both of them, which is directed here along the axis of rotation. If I am considering turning effect of a wheel, then also we should be able to specify the direction of moment of force. About this I will be discussing a little bit more. In this case, there might be a question which is in the exercise, name the factors on which moment of force depends, or how moment of force can be changed. So, moment of force involves 2 quantities, one is force, other is distance. So, you can change the magnitude of force, or you can change the distance at which the force is applied. Now, try to understand why this handle is located at the end of the door. Have you ever seen the handle located close to the hinges? Instead of here, is the handle ever located close to the hinges? It is not possible. Or if it is attached that way, the magnitude of force has to be much greater. We will discuss about this in the next lecture. I will be dealing with many more terms involved in this, couple, moment of couple, etc. So, we will continue in the next lecture.